Check, 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 check. 1, 2. All right. What's going on out there this fine Tuesday evening, MECA heads? How we doing this evening? I hope everybody's having a good start to their week. I'm going to have on here this evening with me tonight Mr. Chadwick Bobby, or as you guys might know him, Chad Blakey. So we'll have him on here in just a few minutes. Of course, we'll get it started here. Got a couple of events coming at you guys this weekend. Our first 4X of the year is going to kick off in Centerville, Tennessee this weekend. March 29th, Saturday, we got a 4X there in Centerville, Tennessee. So 4X event, everybody that comes out and registers, 15 points no matter what place you come in, 20 points to the winners, so on and so forth. So get out there and get those points. Also, I think it's going to be the first show of the year where we give out the crowns. So that's a little bit different. Hopefully you guys like them. I think they're pretty neat. So that's coming up Saturday, the 4X kickoff show for Tennessee. So make sure you're out there. Pops and Landon will be out there. Shannon and I'll be out there. It should be a great time. I'm looking forward to seeing our Tennessee folks. Share it up, like it up, try to get the word out. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you this weekend. And then we're going to follow that event up Sunday, March the 30th with the 3X in the same spot, same place, same time, all that good stuff. So everybody, 7X possible points weekend in Tennessee this weekend. And then we have March 30th on Sunday in Orlando at Creative Car Audio, a Dale Skaggs SQ Memorial Show. Those of you that don't know, one of our sound quality competitors, Mr. Dale Skaggs, passed not too long here. So we're going to be having a memorial show for him, and all the proceeds will be going to his family to help with the expenses and things. So get out there and help Tony, and let's remember Mr. Dale. And I think we might have another little thing coming that goes along with that. But keep your eyes peeled Saturday. So that's the 3 events we got coming this weekend. Let me see here. Click on my chat box. What's going on, Mr. Pops, Miss Whitney, Mr. Cassidy? What's going on, brother? Hope everybody's having a good week. Like I said, like it up, share it up. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to have Chad on here with me tonight. I think he's on his way to work, so he's driving in his car, but he's going to get on here and chop it up with us. Should be a pretty good time. So if you guys got questions for anything, Chad's one of our judges. He didn't compete. However, he did get a specialty award this year. I think, was it Judge Team of the Year, Judge of the Year, one of those. He'll tell me when he gets on here. I might have it mixed up a little bit, but he was one of the club award recipients. So I got him on here to chop it up with you guys, share a little bit of knowledge if you have questions. We're going to talk about car audio stuff a little bit, probably more than we will judging, but Distinguished Service Award, my bad. So it's the Distinguished Service Award that he got. And I think they might have got another one too, but I don't know. My memory might not be quite right. So again, one more time before I get Chadwick on here, we're kicking off Tennessee March 29th with a 4X. in Centerville, Tennessee. And then we're going to follow that with a 3X. And then, like I said, we're going to have the Dale Skaggs SQ Memorial Show at Creative Car Audio Sunday as well. So get out there, get your points, have some fun this weekend. The season's really starting to heat up. Make sure you get your memberships going. We're getting closer and closer to getting the website going again. Got a few little things to update on the backside so we can get these points showing up correctly. And yeah, I think we're maybe a day or two out on that, and we should hopefully have that going so we can start getting the results and stuff straightened out here. So, excuse me. Check the chat here one more time. What's going on, Mr. Chris, Mr. Mark Stage? How we doing tonight? Hope you guys are having a good start to your week. And I think I've babbled long enough here, so I'm going to bring Mr. Chadwick in, and he's in the car. What's going on, Chaddy?
Everybody? Just driving to work.
Driving to
go
work.
Make some money.
Gotta go get that money, huh?
Yep.
I hear that, brother. Well, I guess until we get these guys going here, hopefully they'll have some questions for us. They'll ask you some stuff, maybe. Hopefully they might not put you on the spot too bad here, but you know, I got my little standard list of questions that I ask folks, things like that. So I guess we'll kick it off with, you know, what's the first question I always ask? I guess basically, you know, what kind of got you into this crazy little thing that we do?
Well, you know, it's probably about the same with all of us. You get started in high school. You hear that guy on the parking lot, and you're like, I want to be that guy. So then you go and buy some cheap flea market stuff, and it's not good enough. It's never good enough. We all know that's never good enough. But I went to a stereo competition. My first one, I was probably a junior in high school. Didn't compete. I was there to spectate. And it was raining out, and I didn't care because I was in love. And there was a station wagon with a bunch of tens. I'll say probably had 10 tens in it. And he was bouncing the rain off the top of his car like 3-4 inches. And I was like, I got to do that.
Right.
That's when I was hooked. Ever since then, I've had an audio system.
So you got hooked on stereos because you wanted to bounce some water, huh?
Yeah. That was real impressive. Yeah, my first build was probably, well, I know it was a Majestic 300 watt amp on some I think they're pyramid thump 10s. And man, that stuff, it was trash. It wasn't good at all. But it made noise, and it kept me, you know, happy until I could afford something good from an actual shop. Then I bought the Fosgate and the JL audio build.
Fosgate JL, huh?
Yeah, I mean, back then, in 95, you couldn't really get nothing else in that.
Mr. Beard, Mr. Jeffrey, how you guys doing tonight? So you went to your first car audio contest and saw somebody bouncing rain, and you just had to do it.
Yeah, I was impressed.
So how long before you actually like went to your own first competition and did it yourself?
Well, back then we didn't have Facebook, so like you didn't know about any of this stuff. It was just word of mouth.
Right.
So it was probably, I'm pretty sure I didn't go to my first show and actually compete until probably, well, I had my old 08 Fusion, so probably like 2008 to 2010 era. So
okay.
There was just 10, 15 years of my life, I just drove around making noise for no reason.
Right. So were you hooked on competitions after your first one, or did it take a little bit?
No, the first one I seen a number and I said, well, that ain't good enough, and I've always tried to make it better.
I hear that. What's going on, Mr. Hawley? I guess so. When you were involved in those shows, and I guess you saw that station wagon, but did you have like a specific build or a specific individual that like maybe motivated you, or you tried to chase, or that you looked up to?
Well, I know it's going to sound corny, but what got me into looking up competition was Steve Mead and Jonathan Price YouTube videos.
Right,
And EXO sitting in his driveway with a sign, I want demos, And
right,
that started running into guys with the same kind of hobby as me, and then finally finding competitions. But yeah, I would say Steve Mead's build, when he sucked that chick's glass eye out of her head, I was like, dang,
right.
I thought that was something.
What's going on, Mr. Simone, Mr. Schneider? So I guess you also have a little squad there, your team. So
Yeah.
tell us about that. How'd you get? When did that start?
Well, it's probably oh man, I want to say like 2016, 15, something like that. Bunch of us just, I don't know, like Mo Daddy. I've known Mo Daddy since I even knew MECA. That guy, we used to compete in Marion at a local car shop there, and that's where we met Bola. And yeah, it was just good old times. No sanction, nothing. Was just there to chase numbers and see who was louder. And then I ran into Sean, and we started getting quite the following. We're some good guys. We're easy to get along with, and
Right,
we were always willing to help. So people want to jump on the team, we help them out. They help us out, and we wound up getting people like Nick, and we recently picked up the B Craft and the Rosins, and we picked up Zinc.
right.
Zinc's been kind of a butt lately. He gets all that money in that build, and he don't want to chase numbers anymore. I don't know. I ride him about it. I promise, guys.
What's going on, Mr. Ball? So I guess that's another good question. You know, what got you into Mecca?
Um, well, my first MECA show was the Chris Miller show, and Geoff judged my SQ build, which was terrible, and I'll bet he'll vouch for that. I didn't know what SQ was. I just thought it was supposed to sound good. Didn't know anything about staging or anything like that. I just thought it sounded all right, but it didn't. But yeah, I was chasing. I was doing like Bobo's because I wanted to see what my build did best in this org. And then my favorite thing was the rules. It just made it so like anybody could come off the street, put a meter in their car, and be competitive with a little bit of work.
Right.
I mean,
What's going
the
on, Mr.
classes are
Danny Ross, Mr. Mike
classes are just
Jones,
Mike Jones.
and Mr. Kyle Carroll? How we doing tonight? I hope you guys are having a good week. I'm on here chopping it up with Chadwick. If you got questions for us, you got questions for Chadwick, let me know. I'm gonna drill him a little bit, but he's answering me pretty good and pretty quick. So um, Mike said, "What's up?"
So Mike,
So you got into Mecca, Chris Miller show, and then I guess my next question is, how many different organizations have you done over the years?
I think I've done them. I think I've done them all. There's some I've never even heard of and I've done before. Like at Slamming for Soldiers, I ran into a few that I've never heard of, like NSPLL and stuff like that. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right. That's
Right,
but I'm pretty sure I've competed in all world final level. I've done Iasca, DB Drag, and MECA.
right. So I guess then I'll follow that question with, how many championships have you gotten?
I don't know.
You
I
don't
know
know?
that sounds big headed and all, but I don't. I don't keep track of them.
Right.
I'm just always after the next one.
Okay. Do you know? Do you know how many different organizations you've won championship in?
All three.
Okay. So I guess the next question is going to be, we covered kind of how you got into competing, how you got into the MECA competitions and things like that. Some of the things you've won. You got championships in several organizations, so he knows a little bit about a little bit. Um, I I still have to teach him some stuff, but
Yeah.
so I guess my next question is, so how'd you become, how'd you get into the judging part, and what drew you into that?
Well, we got Bud and Shannon, you guys, to come over to Indiana and start judging. And I always found the best way to learn was to watch. So it was always me and Sean were always right there in the lanes. I kind of felt like I was in your way, so I was always trying to help, like pull a meter out of a car or whatever. And that's just, I don't know. I just felt like I was helping a lot. And then you guys thought, well, if you're gonna help, we're gonna make you help us now.
Right.
And then I knew pretty much all the rules, and you just told me what to look for while judging cars.
All right. So then I guess I'll follow that question with, I guess you started judging with us. It's been a while now. How long has it been? Do you remember, Chad?
Uh, Probably like 2000.
You went through a bad spot, homie.
So here, give me might be like a couple seconds.
Yeah, hold on. I think you're coming back. There you go.
Don't fade in and out here for a couple miles. It's that
That's all right.
Chiare stuff.
Well, I know you've came a long way and stuff. So this past finals, uh, you're one of the head judges. So how'd you like that?
Yeah, I did. I really wanted to do it like how I would want the head judge to do it if I was competing.
Right.
That's the way I looked at it. So, well, to everybody, and blood, sweat, and tears in them builds, and they all deserve a fair chance. No,
Yeah,
I
that's true.
lost you.
I can hear you. My bad. You lost me. Can you hear me?
No, I'm good. Yeah,
Can you hear me now? All right.
yeah,
Yeah. You still got the corners at the tents when you go to events, and we never had to wonder where you'd be. Yeah, that's true. They hung out right on my speakers most of the time.
yeah. Didn't have to bring a chair.
So, yeah, sat right on my speaker. What's going on, Mr. Peach? Let's see here. See if I missed any questions. If you guys got questions, make sure you ask them. Like I said, Chad's won some championships. If you got questions about stereos, questions about competition, judging questions. Yeah, he's on his way to work, Pete. So it's not the greatest or the best way we could do it, but I wanted to get him on here. So you know, they said they think you did good. Your magnets are messing with your service. Are you driving the Chiare car?
Yeah, yeah. It's all that quality.
Yeah.
It's like Italian and Pioneer don't mix, I guess. I don't know.
So Pops wants to know if you're going to come see us this weekend at the 4X.
Really, really tried to get my wife to go because my daughter's on spring break this week, and she just She just doesn't. She can't find anything to do down there other than that. So it's like an 8-hour
Right.
drive almost for her. But yeah,
Right.
I tried to talk the wife into it. I promise. I'm probably going to
Let's
go to the
see.
World of Wheels show there at Indiana State Fairgrounds.
All right. Let's see. I'll go with this one first. What's Dueling Demo's time limit now? 1 minute and 30 or 2 minutes? The new
2
rule
minutes.
book says 2 minutes, so it's 2 minutes now, Peach.
Yeah, I kind of surprised everybody this past weekend with that. I was like, it's 2 minutes, but I got a couple that got DQ'd, or well, there's one DQ because it was past 2 minute and a half, and they didn't know that word was in there.
Right.
But I did get forewarn them that it was 2 minutes before they started.
Pop said to give him a shout and he can tell you all kinds of stuff to go do.
Well, you know where I'm going to be, but it's for the wife and my daughter. Like, they need to be entertained. I'm
Right.
easily entertained.
So I guess my next question will be what's your favorite, or if you have a whoa, dang, I'm gonna spill everything. My chair ain't cooperating. There it goes. Uh anyways, what's your favorite event, or if you have one?
My favorite event, it was always the
Yeah.
sleepover show, and I'll miss Jason Huber forever. But those shows were my favorite because I love camping, I love car audio, and it brought both of them together.
Yeah, I like that those events myself. Those were one of my favorites. So I guess that answers both of those questions because I was going to follow that up with what's your favorite MECA event, but that was a MECA event, so that
Yeah.
answers those questions. Um, do you have a favorite award?
Well, I'm trying to get the trifecta here as an event director, but Mike Smith messed me up last year. That I want the event director of the year, the judge team of the year, and the Distinguished Service Award. I've gotten two of the three the last 3 years, I think, but I haven't got all three at once. So
Okay.
that's what I want. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, Mr. Tony, it's 2 minutes now. Peach said, wait, Chad has a job, an actual real job?
Jizob. I got a jizob.
All right, this is a decent one. um, what's your favorite build that you've had that was yours?
Mine, I'm gonna have to say the Fusion. A couple years ago, I had some custom built 15s on a Sound Digital 12K. Actually, I think it was American Base 1101. And man, that thing would just get rowdy. I'd get smoke rolling out of the port, turn it off for a little bit, turn it back on, and just them subs were. I beat them subs up, and I've recoined them a lot of times. They may not have metered well, but for daily driving and annoying the neighborhood, that's what they were.
Right.
But I get this one dialed in. I'm hoping this one surpasses that, but I'm still waiting on a couple pieces for this one yet.
What do you got going on in there now?
Well, right now I've got all Chiare highs and mids, and I got DC audio amps. I got Chiare 12-inch subwoofers, and I'm waiting on my Museway DSP. I got Brand X alt, Brand X batteries. That's pretty much it. Pioneer head unit.
So what pieces are you missing?
I'm waiting on Matt with that Museway, that sweetness.
So you're missing the DSP still? Matt, where you
Yep.
at? We done gave you enough time, Matt. This is bull.
You get it.
Pete said,
I'll drive
wait,
up there and debo the. I'll
Peach, I
debo the
think
one at his car. I'll drive.
Peach, I think he's driving a Ford Fusion right now. He's lucky he got where he's going, ain't he, Peach?
It's done it for 200,000 miles. How's that
He only-
transmission doing in that Impala, Peach?
You've only had to replace the transmission 3 times, but yeah.
I've had it rebuilt once.
Oh, just once.
Now, I didn't replace it. I rebuilt it. It's still OEM.
Oh, Wayne said he thinks Matt has the DSP now.
Sweet. Sweet.
Uh-oh. I think Chad already took it to a show or two. It's just not finished. It's playing. It's just not finished.
Right. It's nothing to brag about yet. It's definitely better than it was.
Better than it was, huh?
Yeah, I had 2 speakers working.
Right?
All my money was going into the Civic. I had to get rid of that money pit.
Joe said a numbers matching Fusion is rare.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pete said 235,000 so far, but it hates all my new weight I've gained from being married.
It happens, man. It happens.
Oh,
I tell the
man.
wife it's like that way the other women don't bother me. I gain weight so they.
Let's see here. See if I missed any other questions. What's going on, Mr. Milani, Mr. Mighty, Mr. Joe, Mr. Danny Ross? I don't know if I already got you or not, but I hope everybody's having a good week so far. What's going on, Soda Pop? What's going on, Mr. Conehead? Chilling, huh? So what other questions do we got for Mr. Chaddy Bobby? He answers quick. He's not long-winded much, but he talks to us. He's out there parking lot pimping right now at work.
Yeah, I'm one of them weirdos that gets to work an hour early.
That's why he's working on the Yukon so he can stop driving. All right, well, I guess I'll start coming up with some more questions. Let's see. Who's this guy? So
I know you, Soda Pop.
So this is Chad Bleak, or Blakey is actually it, but I always call him Bleak just to make him mad. But or I call him Chatty Bobby. But he's a competitor, started as a competitor. He's one of our judges now. He was the head judge at this last year's finals, and he's won our Distinguished Service Award and our Judge Award a couple times. So we got him on here because he won Distinguished Service again last year. And let's see. I got some questions rolling in now. So Joe said, "What's the key to getting loud?"
What's the key to get testing? Testing. He knows that. Just test. If you don't think it'll work, test it. Make sure it don't.
He was testing you. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, it was a trick question. I see.
Yeah. Peach would ask this. How old are you really, Chad?
Probably old enough to be your daddy. But anyway, I'm 45.
What's going on, Mr. B-Craft? Let's see. Mr. Jack says, Will his car be done for the Easter show at Ballard Field?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, if they've got my DSP, and it'd probably get in the mail this week, or maybe next week, and maybe Mac come down and give me that special tune, then it'd definitely be done. Maybe Matt would come to the Easter show. I might even
So
let Wayne tune it. I don't know.
he was a SPL competitor, Soda Pop, and he used to have the little Honda Civic trunk car that called Conky that was spray painted up and stuff with the gold D's on it. Throw some D's on that. Oh, and he's won a couple times in a couple different places, and he is our Indiana event director. And like I said, he was the head judge at finals last year. So,
Oh,
Pops,
Pop Pop.
that's a pretty good question here. Let's see. What's one thing you would push more competitors to participate in to get them more excited?
Uh, I'm telling you, doing demos is pretty cool, and Park and Pound. I mean, if your build is a daily build, those two right there, those are two easy to be able to still play music and enjoy your build every day. But if you got a build that you put on a trailer, then you're chasing numbers. You don't care about all that. You're chasing numbers. But
Right.
show and shine's easy too. Just clean up the car. There's a lot of classes for that.
Yeah, and I think we've got a stock class coming for you guys this year. I know I don't have the rule book uh quite ready yet, but show and shine's almost ready to put back up, and or it's a street class. So we've added a class below the mild. So basically we'll have a street class, a mild class, and a wild class. um I think we're going to do away with Jeeps being on their own and basically make them go with the SUVs and vans or trucks. Basically, we kind of whittled it down a little bit. um So yeah, the show and shine book, I'm pretty close to having it ready. I need to go through and clean up a little words, and then I think I might change kind of the order of how some of the stuff is laid out because it kind of bounces around because I just went into the old rule book and basically, wiped stuff out and then added back in to the same format that was there. So I think I need to kind of maybe refigure how that's stacked together there to make it a little bit more, uh, streamlined. But other than that, we're pretty close on show and shine. Um, that's something we would like to see more people get involved in. Obviously, we've been trying to keep building on the dueling demos thing. Here eventually, I'd really like to see us, have somebody be able to kind of commentate the dueling demos while it's going on, or, have somebody on a microphone to let the folks know what's going on, let the people know who's coming up, kind of talk about what's going on, get the crowd more involved. I feel like that's the one format we do that can really get, really get spectators involved in what we do. So I agree with those. So he says, what about stunt walls? Had any luck with those yet? Well, I guess I don't know if a lot of people have read or if they know, but we did add a single position division to our dueling demos. Basically, the judging takes place 15 feet off the front or the rear bumper. It's basically set up, designed for those of you that have rearward or forward facing systems, stunt walls, things like that. Pretty simple for the first year just to try to introduce it. Um, Three classes, I think, basically like street, modified, and extreme. As we get more people involved and see how it goes, we'll obviously build on that just like we have with dueling demos. So all you guys with with the stunt walls, forward firing systems, things of that nature. Bring them out, check out what the dueling demos format's all about. Again, the single position will just be judged from one position, the front or the rear bumper, 15 feet back. It's not all about how loud you are. Clarity's involved. It's basically judged the same way as dueling demos, minus the 360 sound section for now. And then the plan is to kind of introduce it and see how it goes and see who gets involved, and then try to take those competitors' feedback, kind of like we do with most everything else, and just try to find that middle ground to build off of to keep getting more and more people involved, and try to make the majority of folks a little bit happy. Obviously we never make everybody happy or 100% happy, but hopefully we get that feedback. And I'm
still here.
I don't know what happened. My bad.
I switched to Wi-Fi.
Oh. So I don't think we've had any of the single position runs yet. Did you have any at your first show, Chad?
I thought I might, and I didn't.
So any of you guys that are interested in the single position, that is something we're offering this year. So, we added 3 more classes to the dueling demos format for single position. What's going on, Mr. Irvin? Let's see here. That's a pretty good one. What's your favorite subwoofer of all time?
My favorite subwoofer? Well, I'm going to say for all-around daily driving and competing, it's a Sundown NSV3. Or no, the ZV3. Sorry.
ZV3, huh?
Yep.
Even if Harrod says turn your light on.
It's broken. It's the loud things. It's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's broken off.
So, I guess you answered your favorite sub. My favorite subwoofer of all time's got to be Large Gap Shocker Signature. I had those for a long time. Got them off to a teammate. I think they won a lot of world championships. We won a lot of world championships with those. I feel like that's one of the best subwoofer, platforms, especially for a Ferrite motor. That's it was quite some time before I even had a Neo that was louder than my Shocker signatures. And I know there's other subwoofers out there and stuff, but that was my favorite one of all time so far. There's a lot of other ones that REMT, Adair Brahmas, the old school ones, the old school Memphis Mojos. I could go on for a little while, but back when I first got into it, it was the Juggernauts or the Armageddons. I could go on for a little bit, I suppose. What's your favorite amp, Chad?
I'm gonna say my 1100.1 was probably my favorite amp. That thing took a beating. It's been repaired a few times.
Doing pretty good, Mr. Eberhard. How are you? Yeah, the Trio CSXs were good speakers. I never owned any, but I had a couple of folks around me that did, and those were some good speakers that if I could have got my hands on them for the right price, I probably would have. So that's a good one. Let's see. Pete said, what's your best World Finals weekend of all time?
Man, it had to be one of the Louisville weekends. Well, I know the first year I competed in MECA at World Finals, I got second place in trunk 2 to Jordan Smith, which we all know that guy knows what he's doing. But I beat Eric Bader from Ohio by .01, And I watched that guy run around his car trying to push on stuff, and I was so worried he was going to get me. But that was probably my best weekend. And I
Let's
got
see.
second place.
Can you run both dueling demos and dueling demo single position? I think so. I think so. I hadn't really, I guess, ran that through my brain, but I think that's two separate divisions, basically. What do you think, Chadwick?
It's like SQ. You know what I'm saying? You got SQ2, SQ plus. I mean, it's two different positions. It's like kick and headrest, right?
Yeah, I got back to the best world finals. I got too many of them to pick one, but I know my favorite thing about finals, and a lot of you guys a lot of you guys know what it is and what it takes and all that stuff, but I always had my team, and I couldn't tell you. I I can't. I don't even. I can't even remember how many times we've figured it out at the 11th. Y'all, at the 11th hour, fourth and goal, whatever you want to call it. In the middle of the night, the day before the championship run, we figured out how to do a championship score. Those times with the teammates in the parking lot at 4 a.m. and then being in the lanes again tomorrow at 9. Those are some of my best memories. So I can't really pick one, but just testing with people and you know being out there and trying to accomplish a goal together is always fun. Let's see. Mr. Bowser, what year did you get your first ring?
Um, uh, man, I don't know. Alabama.
Okay.
I think that was the first year they had rings. I got first place before they had rings.
What's going on, Mr. Benjamin? Yeah, James, we'll be at SVR this year. Okay, that's a good one. Alabama was a good one. What's your funniest moment from the World Finals?
My funniest moment. It was well, it was the year Joe Alt beat me in Trunk One. I was actually competing in Iasca, and I let this guy borrow my bass knob, and he went and rerun, and he beat me. So I had to go over there and rerun. And my
Right,
track, I had 20-second tracks for my test tones, and my track ran out before I got my power in. And he was all celebrating because he was still winning, and my wife had this all on live. And then the track come back on, and I got my power up. I'm beating by a tenth, and he went from "oh yeah" to "oh man." That was, and it was Beaver Alonso. I don't know if you guys know who Beaver is, but that guy he really likes to talk the smack. So I thought that was pretty funny to watch that happen to him.
right. What's going on, Mr. Tony? Let's see what other questions we got for Mr. Chadwick here. I would ask you what your build plans are for this year, but we already kind of went over that. So I guess maybe since we know what your build plans are, what classes are you going to try to do? Or are you even worried about that? Or what was your goal with your new system?
Oh, this build is basically for pure daily enjoyment. But I'll probably run it in like Mod Street, doing demos. Probably get some show and shine points. I might stick a meter in it, see if it does well on the meter, but I ain't trying to chase numbers in this car again. Um, I also got the golf cart. I think I'm gonna buy a new battery for it and maybe get that thing going again.
Golf cart, huh?
Yeah, it's got some GRA 6.5s in it right now.
That's right, folks. We got classes for golf carts too.
Yep.
At least one.
Well, you got a show and shine class and a doing demos class.
That's right. How many wicks would wick wood? But how many boxes do you have to build before you box flop on a flop box? And how many flip flops did it take before you flopped box?
All of them. I
All of
don't care how many I don't care how many boxes you build. It's never good enough. It's never good enough, and it gets frustrating. I mean, I
it,
made one out of steel.
it was still floppy.
Yeah, it still was a pain in my butt.
And Matt just said, I finally got your DSP, and he's been at a kid's concert.
Cool.
Yes, we do have a golf cart class for dueling demos and show and shine. Who will win in a football race between Chad and Mike Jones with his new lungs?
Man, my lungs are not new. I still smoke the cigarettes.
Right?
But I'd like to say I ran track in high school. Like if we're going like 20, 30 yards, I got him. I got him.
20 or 30 yards. You can't run the 40-yard dash like Joe though, baby.
Nah, maybe if you have the cigarette lit at the 40-yard line, I'll run there.
Oh man. Let's see here. Let me see if I missed anything here. All right. I think I'm caught up on the chat side. So if you guys got questions, if I missed your question, let me know. Chad's sorry he's having to sit in his car in his base car and he broke his light, so you can't see him very good. But that's Chad, Mr. Chad Blakey from Indiana. He's our Indiana event director, distinguished service award winner from finals last year. He's won championships in several different organizations. Recently sold his sound pressure rig and started building back his fusion a little bit, mostly for himself, but you'll see it at some shows, I'm sure. So Jeffrey asked us again. You did miss it a little bit, but I'll let him go over it again. So let's see here. He said, "What are you running now, Chad?"
Well, I've got all GRA highs and mids, which is consist of 4 1-inch tweeters, 4 super tweeters, 4 6.5s, and 4 8s. And then I also have 2 12-inch GRA subs, and their model numbers are weird, so like they get all messed up in my head. So I don't want to butcher that. I got DC audio amps, brand X battery, and all.
I don't know if I quite understand the whole question here, Peach, but Peach says, "What would be a good venue you would like to go for the first for MECA?"
Hmm.
Are you trying to ask for the first time or for finals? What
Like if you were a new competitor, what venue would you go to first? Maybe.
I'll see if he responds. I don't we'll answer it, but let's make sure we get the right answer there because I'm not quite sure exactly what you're trying to ask us there, Peach. And Jeffrey said he wants a liter of cola and he wanted to know if the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Right now.
So Peach is asking, what would be a new venue that you would like MECA to go to for the first time, I guess is the question, or a new location.
A new location. I'd like to get something up in the corner by up by Detroit, or like northern or western northwestern Ohio, because I feel like there's a lot of us MECA guys right in that area, and I think that show could be really big.
Okay. What's going on, Mr. Jeremy Cox? He said, "What's up?" Joe says the Ohio Car Audio Show.
I got a show that weekend, Joe. I can't.
And Jeffrey is freaking out, man. You are freaking out, man.
I'm already pulled over, man. I can't pull over no farther.
Tony said Florida. But which venue, Tony?
Yeah, we're doing a spring break finals.
Peach says, I don't even know if Chadwick knows about those very much. Let's see. Do you miss fuses?
The first year I competed over Chris Miller's, we used fuses. And I was like, yeah, I got some under the hood. And he was like, no, they need to be before the amp. I was like, yeah, they're before the amp. He says, no, there's a battery in the back. I was like, whatever, put me in the unlimited class.
Soda Pop said you're just sitting in the dark like a mobster.
That's
Should I
right.
ask him if he wants a Chesterfield? I don't know if y'all get that one or not, but we moved on from littering and we were making offers you can't refuse. Ocean Center is nice that time of the year. So yeah, Chad wasn't around too much for the fuses. I really don't think any of us truly miss them. Uh, you know, I think they did their job, just not as good as it could have been done, I suppose. Especially once we learned some of the things we learned with them and all that good stuff. But it sufficed for a little while.
My
Shoot,
leader of IT.
everybody knows I keep that bag on me like I'm transporting, Tony. That's my DoorDash slogan. We are definitely doing shenanigans right now.
Yeah.
Definitely. What else we got here? Am I out of questions? I'm sure Peach will give us another good one if we wait just a couple more minutes. What's going on, Mr. Kyle Mitchell? You missed it all. We've been here for 53 minutes, bro.
I'm just the guy in the dark.
Yeah, you are. That'd be good if we could get into some of those. I don't disagree. So, Mr. Jeffrey wants to know: are you going to be coming to the Ohio show in May?
I've committed. I haven't put the event in yet, but I've committed to a veteran show, benefit show in Indianapolis that weekend.
Okay. Whitney said, "What is your most favorite award you have ever won?"
Man, I'm gonna say probably event director of the year. That was one of them. The Distinguished Service Award. That's right up there with it.
Joe says, "What should we expect at the Marion show next month?"
Well, speaking of the Marion show, I know Bud and Shannon, it's a Forex. But I know you guys got some lady over there in Ohio that does candy. And I mean, what's an Easter show without candy?
That's
We can
true.
get her over there. What happened to her? But I do have a food truck kind of lined up. He messaged me today. He seems like he's pretty committed, rain or shine. We're gonna have an Easter egg hunt. Um, I might make Selena or somebody or Sean dress up like an Easter bunny, so the kids can sit on his lap. And
All right. Oh, you know what else I could talk about here in a second? I'm going to get through these questions, but if I don't forget, Soda Pop says, "What's your highest SPL score?"
well, with the Civic, I did do a 60 in the kick on. I think it was like almost 10K, around 10K. I think my highest headrest was like a 57 ish, almost 58.
57, 58.
Yeah, something like that.
Mr. Stephen Cassidy, do you have any dueling demo song recommendations?
I'm telling you, I like pop, and I also like this dubstep stuff that builds up a beat. I like it when it builds a drop. That's just something I feel like it gets everybody else going too. Like if it's a song
And
that
that
everybody knows, and,
beat build. Oh,
yeah.
so you got any specific titles,
Titles?
like song titles?
Uh, I feel like a lot of tracks depends on the build. Like some builds can't play some stuff.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like when I'm listening to it, like Melinda will vouch. Like I'll send Melinda a track every once in a while. I'll catch on Pandora listening going down the road, and I'll be like, "You need to check this one out on your build because I think it might do all right."
Right. This is a pretty good question, I suppose. Who would you like to see battle it out in the lanes for a world title?
Well, I'd like to see Curtis and J. Cole go at it because I think Curtis is motivated and J. Cole's the man.
That's a fair assessment. No white van, no candy, no nothing. Kyle Mitchell says, I got a big crew coming with me to Marion.
Cool.
Whitney said she'll try to bring some of that candy with her to the show, but she might already have something going on at her shop, but she'll see what she can do.
Okay.
Shannon asks under my name, what kind of awards would everyone like at the Easter Forex? I guess that's more of a predator question, huh? So you guys can
Yeah.
answer that in the comments. Fishing season has started, Chris. Let's see. Whitney said Easter baskets instead of trophies. That's a pretty cool idea. What's going on, Brandon Morris? Golden eggs. I guess that's an answer to the awards question there. See if we get any other questions here. Golden eggs full of candy. That's a good one. All right. So, the one thing I was going to talk about, I added it into the rule book this year. And, hopefully I'll have the website up and going here soon. But for the first couple of Forex events, hopefully it shouldn't be that hard for me to keep track of. But previously, you could only set like a world record at world finals, and we didn't necessarily really have a world record type of program. So this season, we're going to start a world record program, and we'll probably build on it a little bit, or maybe add some guidelines or stipulations. But for now, the 4X events that Shannon and myself host, and I'm present at the event. Basically, you can set a world record at those events, and if it holds up throughout the year, you'll get a little side thing or something at the end of the year, and basically acknowledging that you got a world record. It'd probably be a plaque or something along those lines. I haven't really 100% decided what that's going to look like yet. But we are going to offer a world record program at the 4X events here. And basically, if you want to set a world record, you need to be a MECA member, and you need to let the judge in the lane know before you run that you want to set a record. And basically, we're going to start trying to keep track of that. And unless we change the rules drastically, I plan on leaving it as a world record until somebody beats it, basically. So maybe a little bit more motivation, a little bit more incentive there to go ahead and do some higher scores. So we got that in play this season. For those of you that are interested in that, I know I get asked about it. So that's something I wanted to address real quick. So those of you that didn't see that in the book, you can set world records at 4X events now. All right. Peach said, "What do you prefer to run? Park and pound, sound quality, or sound pressure?"
Park and pound was always my favorite. I don't know why, but I feel like meter 6 feet out of the car, that pretty much equalizes the class. Like that makes it tough for everybody.
Right.
And it can, if you have a bad start, then you might as well shut it off and wait for your next run.
So Peach, there really wasn't a world record program before. There wasn't something that was upstanding or that stood forever. The way it always worked was it reset every year. So you'd have to go onto the site and look at the results from each finals. But the only way to set a world record previously was basically at world finals. So you'd have to go back and look at all those scores, but it always reset at the end of the year. So there's not really necessarily a database for that. And some of the sites still kind of, wonky or whatever. We're still working on it. So some of that information might not be 100%, but we are getting closer and closer here to getting it back together. What's the highest park and pound score? I want to say somewhere around a 43. 43 and some change. I think our Trinidad guy broke a 43. I want to say Mr. Caldwell probably got one of those. I know quite a few people has been in the 42 range. So, somewhere around the 43. I'd have to really get back in the database and check that out. Have you done some sound quality?
I have done sound quality, but with a build that was not built for it. As being trained as a sound quality judge now, I was nowhere close. I had rear stage. It was poop. But yeah, I did compete in it when I first started at MECA. I wanted to see what everything was like.
Uh, All right. Well, we've been on for about an hour and five. I know Chadwick's got to go to work here shortly. You guys got any questions here for Mr. Chad? Any last minute questions here before I ask my last one, and then we get ready to sign out here? I'm gonna have to get back to riding dirty. All right. Let's see. Peach, who would make a good president out of all the base heads?
Joe Alt.
What was your highest park and pound score, Chad?
I don't think I ever got the 35. I got real close maybe once or twice. And that was probably the DB3 class, the 6K.
How
I don't
many
think I ever.
how many clicks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Well,
Knobs to the right, all of them.
yeah, just turn them all up.
All right, Chadwick. So I appreciate you coming on here with me tonight. Everybody watching, like it up, share it up, like, subscribe, follow me, all that good stuff. Come on here every Tuesday evening at 8. I try to keep it around an hour. Sometimes we keep it going a little bit longer here. Uh, just depends on the vibe and how we're doing and what kind of questions we're getting, and if I run out of stuff to talk about. So I guess the last thing we got to do is you get to choose the next victim, Chad.
Get to choose the next victim. And they had to win something last year.
Yeah, either a club award or a world championship, something along those lines. I think, we'll be getting pretty close to, running out of those folks here soon, and we'll start getting some of the other guys on here, all that good stuff. But that's kind of the criteria for now. Karma says hi.
Well, I'm thinking either Mike Smith or Kevin Mayo.
Okay. Those are two good ones. We will work on that for next week. We'll shoot one of those. We'll shoot both of those guys a message and see which one of them can get on here with us, and we'll kind of go from there. Yeah, we can get him too. He's a good one. I got a lot of folks on the list, Peach. I think I could keep up getting as long as they'll get on here with me. I could keep it up for a little while. So, we'll just keep trying to spread the love. But he's definitely on the list of victims, Peach. The red light means you're doing great. All right, Chadwick. Did you have any last things you wanted to say?
That was fun, guys. Keep them turned up. See you at the shows.
All right, Chadwick, I'll let you get back to it, brother, and I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon. Chad works third shift, so sometimes when I get bored in the middle of the night, I holler at him. So I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon, Chad.
All right.
Yeah, I can get Selena on here. I'm sure at some point that would be a good one. All right, y'all. I'm going to go over the events one more time. Again, we're going to kick off Tennessee this weekend. Saturday, we got our first 4X of the year kicking off in Centerville, Tennessee. Looking forward to getting back down there this year, seeing the Tennessee folks, and hopefully we're going to have a good turnout. We've been, sharing it up. I'm seeing a lot of buzz. I appreciate it, guys. Keep sharing it. Keep, getting the word out. We're also going to follow that with a 3X in the same place on Sunday. And then again, we will have the Dale Skaggs SQ Memorial Show 3X hosted at Creative Car Audio in Orlando, Florida. That's going to be a good show. All you guys get out there and check out Mr. Tony and the crew. I think Iaska will be there with him. So check them out and help raise some funds for the Skaggs family. And I think, like I said, a little bit later in the week, I'm going to make another announcement pertaining to Mr. Dale. And, it's really sad, but we're going to try to do our best to remember him and let him set his mark in our club. So really appreciate him and his family's commitment to sound quality competitions over the year. And I know the Florida folks, he touched a lot of those guys' lives and made a difference. So hopefully you guys have a good turnout there this weekend and raise some funds for Mr. Dale. All right. I don't see any other questions here. So again, I hope everybody's had a good start to their week this week. It's Tuesday evening, 4 more days, or well, 3 more days, I guess, and it'll be the weekend time. We'll be heading to Tennessee, I think, Friday night at some point. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're on the Facebook page there, like and follow us. Check us out. We've got our event schedule back working on the website. I'm going to continue to try to post those up to Facebook as well. Folks seem to be liking that. So I'll keep on trying to keep up with the Facebook events. And I think that kind of wraps it up for this evening. I appreciate everybody watching us tonight. I'm really looking forward to kicking this season off and getting it into gear. Looking forward to having a great year. But I got to go back to chasing paper till my toes bleed. So until next week, you guys keep it loud.